minutes, I'm going to share with you the secret to becoming an absolute expert with your iPhone in less than 7 minutes a day. Now, just to be clear, by 7 minutes, I don't mean 7 minutes of torture where you're endlessly scouring Google trying to find the answer to your latest iPhone dilemma, or poring over some gigantic manual you found at a big box bookstore, or even using any of the traditional ways of learning found in your typical classroom environment at a local university or community college. And on top of all that, I'm also going to explain to you how you're probably not even scratching the surface of what your iPhone can actually do. In fact, if you don't know what you are doing, you may end up doing more harm than good. Now, my iPhone training course is so easy that you can be well on your way to mastering this little device almost immediately. That is why it's trusted and used all over the world. There's really only one main reason why so many people are afraid to embrace the latest technology, and that's because they believe it's just too complex. They say, only the kids can keep up with this ever-changing technology, or it's just too complicated for me. I've often wondered why so many people believe this, because with what I'm about to share with you, you'll quickly realize that this is simply not true. Do you ever feel like technology is moving so fast that it's just impossible to keep up? With iOS, Android, Facebook, Twitter, Insta what? How are you supposed to stay current? And now you have this iPhone that's supposed to be the greatest thing to come around since the internet, but you can barely make a phone call. You see, Apple sold over 47 million iPhones in the last quarter alone. They've sold over 300 million iPhones since 2007. And if you ask most people, they'll tell you Apple put the smart in smartphone. They're the richest company in the world. They have the brightest minds working on their products. But even with all of that brainpower pumping away down in Silicon Valley, they made a huge mistake. Apple forgot to include the manual. So what do most people do? Chances are they end up buying some 800-page textbook from that big online bookstore named after a South American rainforest. You know the one. They spend hours and hours and hours just trying to wrap their head around this little device and end up more frustrated than when they started. How fun is that? After all that time and effort, most people still can't do more than send a simple text message or make a phone call. Or worse yet, they decide to go it alone, turning to Google and her infinite wisdom for help. Before you know it, you've wasted more hours than you'd ever admit to your spouse going from one website to another, then another, then another. Now you've spent time you can't ever get back and probably come out even more confused than when you started. I'm going to share with you the biggest insight into mastering your iPhone to come along since, well, the iPhone. I mentioned earlier that my given name is Andrew, but all my friends and family just call me the touchscreen genius. I've been referred to as the Einstein of the iPhone. You see, I have studied the iPhone inside and out, from the initial iPhone released back in 2007 to the one you have in your pocket today. I pretty much live on that thing. And since I spend so much time on my iPhone, I set out to master every tip, trick, and secret. I learned every setting, every function, and downloaded almost every app in the App Store. I think it's safe to say I know as much as most of the people working at Apple. That's what had happened. My newly retired parents decided to get iPhones. Up until that point, they had the same basic cell phones for the better part of a decade. You know the ones, the old-style flip phones that didn't even have a camera. Well, my parents were pretty dumbfounded when they got their hands on their new iPhones. They had never sent a text, never listened to music, or checked email on a phone, and had most definitely never heard of an app. And to top it off, this new iPhone didn't even have any buttons. So, who do you think they came to for help? That's right, their trusty son, the touchscreen genius. And now I can safely tell you that both my parents are true iPhone experts in spite of the fact that they still have an old-style television that wasn't even made with a remote. You see, I shared with them the exact same system that I'm about to share with you. This system I'm talking about can be summed up in one statement. If you understand the way Apple has intuitively set up the iPhone, everything else is easy. To put it another way, if you have tried to learn all the ins and outs of your iPhone before, but still can't master this little touchscreen device, you're probably doing something wrong. It's why you're continuously frustrated with your iPhone. Everyone else talks about it like it's the greatest invention ever, but to you, it's just a big pain in the neck. You've spent hours on end trying to make it do what you want, but it still feels like a foreign object in your hands. That's really no way to live. So, how do you become an expert with your iPhone in less than 7 minutes a day? Introducing my quick, simple, yet very effective iPhone lessons. The secret is in the video. Over 40 professionally produced high-definition videos and not a single one over 7 minutes long. You can watch them on your computer, your television, even on your iPhone itself. Just sit back and let me do the work for you. It really is that effortless. There are many reasons why you need to let the touchscreen genius make you an expert with your iPhone. Reason number 1, 100% video-based. All you have to do is sit back, push play, and follow along. After finishing these lessons, you're going to naturally be more productive, have more fun, and feel in charge of your iPhone.